Don't wait for happiness. If you only sit and hope it will arrive on its own, you may end up waiting your whole life. Happiness is not a visitor that knocks politely at the door. It is more like a fire. It needs your hands, your attention, your daily willingness to gather small pieces of kindling and keep it alive. So be proactive. Create happiness, not as a loud celebration, but as a quiet craft you practice until it becomes part of your nature. When sad thoughts arise, don't panic and don't wrestle them like enemies. Simply notice them the way you notice a cloud passing across the sky. Some clouds bring rain, some only drift and dissolve. Gently push them out of the center of your mind and remember, there are circumstances you don't have the strength to change. This is not weakness, it is honesty. The world contains storms that do not obey our wishes, and walls that do not move no matter how many times we press our palms against them. Wisdom begins when you stop exhausting yourself against what will not yield, and instead preserve your energy for what can be shaped, your response, your attitude, your choices in this moment. Stay calm and look at things with a steady, thoughtful mind. Calmness is not numbness, it is clarity. A calm person still feels pain, still grieves, still gets tired. But the calm person does not allow pain to drive the steering wheel. In the space of calm, you begin to see more options. You begin to recognize that many problems are made heavier by the mind's panic. And you begin to understand that peace is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of balance. Get used to feeling happy. Make it one of your main daily practices. This may sound strange at first, because many people treat happiness like a reward they must earn through perfect conditions. But happiness is also a habit of perception. If you train your eyes only to look for what is missing, then even abundance will feel like lack. If you train your heart only to measure and compare, then even success will feel like not enough. So practice happiness the way you practice any skill, consistently, gently, without demanding instant mastery. Smile often. Sometimes not because life is easy, but because you refuse to let life harden you. Smile to yourself in the mirror like you are greeting a friend. Smile to others not as performance, but as a gift. Let people sense that you are someone who carries happiness. Not a naive happiness, but a warm steadiness that does not collapse at the first inconvenience. Try to make the people around you happy. When you see someone in trouble, help them even if what you do is small. Smallness is not insignificance. A cup of water matters most to someone who is thirsty. A single kind sentence matters most to someone who has been swallowed by harshness. Something as simple as giving directions to a tourist so they can reach their destination more easily. Watching their relief can brighten your own heart. In truth, one of the fastest ways to break the spell of your own sorrow is to step outside yourself and become useful. Not because your problems disappear, but because your heart remembers it is not powerless. Kindness restores dignity to the soul. Don't forget those who have made your life lighter and more luminous. Make time for them. Gratitude is not just good manners, it is a way of seeing. It reminds you that your life has contained goodness and that you have been held up by hands you did not always notice. When you remember kindness, your heart becomes less lonely, less bitter, less convinced that the world is only cold. Reduce the habit of criticizing others. This spares you many negative emotions. Criticism often disguises itself as intelligence, but many times it is only a mask for insecurity, disappointment, or envy. The mind that constantly judges is rarely at peace because it is always sharpening itself like a blade. And blades, even when they cut others, also cut the hand that holds them. If you must speak, let your words build rather than tear down. If you must correct, do it with compassion, not cruelty. And avoid envy as much as you can, because it can poison an entire life. Envy steals your joy twice. First, by making you feel inferior, and second, by making you resent the very existence of someone else's blessing. Many people feel unhappy without realizing that their expectations are unrealistic and that happiness is always relative. They chase a perfect version of life that does not exist. A life without loss, without change, without fear. But a life without change is not life. It is a frozen image. The world moves, bodies age, feelings shift, relationships transform, seasons turn. When you demand permanence from what is naturally impermanent, you create suffering with your own hands. Don't demand to become completely happy overnight. Rejoice in the small things instead of waiting for one grand event. If you only allow yourself to be happy when something huge happens, you will miss the quiet miracles that keep you alive. A morning breeze, a warm meal, a friend who remembers your name, a moment when your mind is finally still. The more a person moves towards selflessness, the more peace quietly blooms within. The more a person clings to selfishness, the more unrest and worry circle endlessly inside, breeding suffering. This is not moral preaching. It is simple human psychology. When you build your world around me, everything becomes fragile. When you expand your heart beyond me, you discover a wider, steadier ground to stand on. Settle your mind and see more deeply. Between the two shores of gain and loss, joy and sorrow, both are impermanent. Neither is fully real in the way we imagine, because both are passing states, like weather in the sky. After rain comes sunshine. After white comes black. Someone sits silently watching clouds drift by, peaceful, gentle. Today we meet, tomorrow we part. Brief encounters become separation, and the heart aches because it still clings. Where there is love, there can be betrayal. Where there are high notes, there are low notes. Life rises and falls like the tide, so why blame anyone for the pain? Often we suffer not because life changes, but because we insist life should not change. Today will become yesterday, and tomorrow will do the same. When the past fades, learning the two words acceptance is learning how to live in harmony with fate. Acceptance is not surrender to injustice, not silence in the face of harm. Acceptance is the decision to stop arguing with reality. It is the strength to say, "This is what is happening now. I will meet it with clear eyes." And when your eyes are clear, your hands become more capable. Acceptance is a daily practice because every day we face things we don't like. Annoyances, disappointments, situations beyond our control. If you can change them, wonderful, but often you can't. So learn to live alongside them and accept them with a lighter heart. Cultivate patience, tolerance, and generosity. Try to look at life and at people with more friendliness and gentleness. Gentleness is not softness in the sense of weakness. It is softness in the sense of not needing to bruise everything you touch. And don't worry too much when you fail. Failure is not a final verdict. It is a teacher. Let the past pass. Focus on this present moment. Don't keep digging up unhappy memories and burying yourself inside them. The past is a place to learn from, not a place to live in. If you keep returning to old pain, you turn it from a wound into a home. And no one can build a joyful future while living inside yesterday's ruins. Learn to meditate. Even a few minutes a day can change your life. Inner peace becomes the bridge to peace in the outer world. Meditation is not magic, it is training. It teaches you to witness your thoughts without becoming their prisoner. It teaches you that you are not your anxiety, not your anger, not your sadness. These things move through you, but they are not the whole of you. Happiness is not somewhere far away. It is close in ordinary days. The hardest pain is often the inability to let go. Yet 4 words can help us live more lightly: calm, ease, acceptance, and peace. Hold them like simple medicine. Repeat them when your mind becomes loud. When you decide to truly listen to someone who is suffering, you accept the role of a healer of the heart. You may not be a psychologist, but sincerity and a wholesome attitude can still help another person, even if only a little. Listening is a rare kindness in a world that rushes to speak. When you listen, you give the other person a place to set down their pain for a moment. And strangely, when you help someone carry their burden, you often find your own burden becomes lighter too. Not because life changed, but because your heart expanded. Each of us should learn to discern right from wrong, but without listening, it is difficult to understand people. And without understanding, it is difficult to respond wisely. Listening helps you know the human heart. It also helps you recognize your own weaknesses and develop your strengths. In the end, it benefits you as well. Then there is endurance. Patience as a way of conducting relationships between people, and perseverance as a way of pursuing ideals. Patience is not being trampled. It is self-discipline, keeping yourself from anger so you don't do foolish things. Anger harms the body, wounds the mind, and causes you to lose what is most valuable in your humanity. Sometimes the strongest person in a room is the one who can remain gentle while carrying heat inside. That gentleness is not weakness, it is mastery. And there is meditation, the simplest path to stillness and clarity. Meditation doesn't require sitting cross-legged. True meditation is a quiet mind. When life feels blocked, complaining rarely makes anything better. Sometimes it is wiser to speak less, listen more, and adjust your inner posture. Those who talk too much can lose the beauty of silence. Silence, when it is calm rather than resentful, is a refuge. It is where the heart reorganizes itself. The lighter you hold everything, the purer your mind becomes, and the more happiness can fill it. Fame, profit, and possessions are only passing dust. You cannot carry them when you leave this world. Sorrow, anger, resentment, soon or late, they fade. In the end, you return to yourself. So why not learn to loosen your grip? Let go, so worry can be blown away like smoke in the wind. Sometimes it is gentleness that keeps the soul soft. Sometimes it is endurance that keeps life safe. Sometimes hardship makes you strong. Sometimes suffering expands your capacity to understand and to love. This too is a secret of peace. Pain can either shrink you into bitterness or open you into compassion. Your choice shapes who you become. Avoid negative conversations and negative people. Don't cradle hatred or anger. Learn to forget and to forgive. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was acceptable. It is refusing to let the poison keep circulating in your blood. Don't envy others. Accept what you cannot change. Practice patience and compassion. Don't view everything from a narrow, self-centered angle. Don't drown in the past and neglect the present, damaging the future. Learn to relax your mind. Each day, take at least 10 minutes to review your day and loosen your inner knots. Walking meditation is one of the best ways. When the mind becomes clear, the body quickly regains energy. Remember, no one can give you peace except you. There is a story of 3 workers building a wall. A passerby asks what they are doing. The first says, "Can't you see? I'm building a wall." The second says, "We're building a high-rise." The third says, "We're building a new city." 10 years later, the first is still building walls, bhopals, at a new site. The second has become an engineer in an office. The third is the boss of the other 2. They did the same work, but their mindset determined their position. This is not only about careers, it is about life itself. Many people live the same day over and over, but what they believe about that day, what they call it, what meaning they place inside it, changes everything. A person who sees only a wall lives in heaviness. A person who sees a city lives in purpose. Everyone has the same 24 hours. The successful person manages time well. The unsuccessful person repeats, "I don't have time." The world is fair in this way. Success or failure is often the result of daily choices. Not dramatic choices, not heroic moments, daily choices. The choice to sleep early, the choice to speak kindly, the choice to take a walk instead of drowning in a screen. The choice to call someone you love, the choice to return to your breath when your mind begins to burn. These small decisions are like drops of water. Over time, they carve a river. True happiness, it turns out, rests inside a peaceful, deep heart. Like attracts like. The world you live in within yourself determines the kind of people you meet. The kind of people you befriend slowly changes your character. The higher the ground you stand on, the farther you can see. With an open heart, the sky becomes vast. Sometimes you don't meet the person you hope for because you haven't yet prepared yourself. You haven't grown into the values that match what you desire. So refine yourself first. The rest will come naturally. This is not blame. It is empowerment. It means your future is not only something you wait for, it is something you become ready for. Look at a pair of shoes. In a factory, it may cost only a few dollars. In a shop, it can sell for much more. Your position changes the price. A shoe is only valuable when it fits the wearer. Connection and understanding matter. Lose one shoe and the pair is useless. Companionship matters. If the style is outdated, it becomes cheap. New knowledge matters. If it sits in storage too long, it must be discounted. Timing matters. Some shoes remain new for years in the hands of someone careful. Others fall apart in months. Being valued matters. No matter where it's made, if the wearer is satisfied, that is what counts. Even perfect shoes will have small flaws. Tolerance matters. If beautiful shoes hurt your feet, they become worthless. Inner substance matters. However precious a shoe is, if it doesn't fit, it has no meaning. Suitability matters. And no matter how praised a shoe is, you only truly know it by wearing it. Direct experience matters. Words, too, can be weapons. Often, the thing that hurts most in love and relationships is what is said. Words can open hearts, but they can also strike like invisible blades, killing without blood, sharp and ruthless. One careless sentence, one cold glance, one impulsive act can shatter enthusiasm. In arguments, harsh words spoken in heat become knives in another person's heart. The closer the relationship, the deeper the wound. Time may heal, but scars remain, sometimes aching again when touched. An apology cannot always buy back the comfort of "it's okay." Once disappointment piles up, people become cold. Many relationships cannot return to what they were at the beginning. So manage your emotions, guard your speech, and treasure the people beside you. Give your whole heart to the present, and you protect the blessings that protect you. Most of us are not born into privilege, so everything depends on our own effort. Remind yourself, don't ever give up. The road ahead is long. We are not made of stone. In darkness we fear, and when we hurt we want to cry. So care for yourself, not with indulgence, but with respect. Eat, rest, move your body, breathe, speak gently to your own heart. When you know how to respect yourself, others will respect you. When you know how to love yourself, you can love others without starving them or clinging to them. If someone understands you, you don't need to explain much. If someone refuses to understand, explanation is often pointless. Be straightforward, live without shame before heaven and your conscience. Time reveals hearts. In any relationship, if you are sincere, you will meet sincerity. If you give your all, someone will feel it. And if they do not, then let that be information, not tragedy. Not every door opens. Not every road is meant for you. Let it be. Life is full of uncertainty. If something makes you happy, continue. Even through wind and rain, be persistent. The road under your feet is yours to walk. Suffering in front of your eyes is yours to experience. Pain in your heart is yours to carry. Don't pin your life on anyone else. Depending on others is never as reliable as depending on yourself. Yet self-reliance does not mean isolation. It means standing firmly in yourself while still allowing love to move through you. Why do we cling so tightly to certain things and certain people? There is a story. A man asks a monk why he cannot let go. The monk tells him to hold a cup, then pours hot tea until it overflows. The man drops the cup because it burns. The monk says, "In this world, there is nothing you cannot put down. When it truly hurts, you naturally let go. Sometimes we don't release because it hasn't hurt enough, or because we still believe the pain will turn into sweetness if we wait longer. We cling to status because we dream about status. We cling to money because it seduces. We cling to love because we cling to hope, hoping the future will change, still obstructed by desire. Indecisive people overthink. They grasp slowly and release slowly. Sometimes a great upheaval or the nearness of death changes a person. When you learn to see more openly, more lightly, letting go becomes easier. The heart that can release is not heartless, it is free. We suffer because we carry too many desires. Every day we turn them over in our minds, and of course we become exhausted. It's like filling a new house with things you like. Years later, you realize it is crowded with items you never use, but you can't bear to throw anything away because everything feels meaningful. Yet if the roof leaks and those things get soaked and ruined, you suddenly throw them out without hesitation. That is the truth. When it truly hurts, release happens naturally. So be brave enough to let go. If you keep clinging, it becomes a chain. Release leads to freedom, ease, and a kind of liberation. When you let go, you don't lose your life. You return to it. Happiness. Where is it? Many people spend their lives searching for it, without understanding that it lives in simple things. Have you ever sat alone in silence and asked, "Who am I? Why am I here? What matters most?" Your answer depends on your purpose. If your purpose is wealth, money matters most. If it is status, promotion matters most. But if it is happiness, then family, love, and inner spiritual life matter most. The person who knows how to bring happiness to others is also the person who knows how to be happy. What matters most is learning to live happily. And to do that, you must bring happiness to your family, friends, and the people around you, while also caring for your own life. Simple joys, shared laughter, moments of warmth. Happiness is someone caring for you when you are sick, someone hugging you when you are cold, someone comforting you when you cry, someone accompanying you when you are old, someone forgiving you when you are wrong, someone feeling compassion for you when you are tired. Happiness is not how many people you know, but who truly stays beside you. It's not driving a luxury car, but arriving home safely. It's not how much money you store, but having a body and mind that feel free, able to do what you love. It's not having a perfect spouse, but seeing one another smile. It's not delicious food and fine clothes, but health without calamity. It's not the applause at success, but the voice that says, "My friend, keep going," when you fall. It's not sweet words, but someone saying, "It's okay, I'm here," when you are broken. And happiness is also simply having your parents still in this world. Praise and criticism are ordinary habits of human life. If you are criticized, you may feel sad for a moment, but don't rush into anger. Treat criticism as a chance to examine yourself and adjust. If you are flattered, enjoy it lightly, but don't mistake it for absolute truth. Much praise is offered to please. Don't let sweet words awaken arrogance. If life were truly unbearable, you wouldn't have the energy to complain. If life were truly crushing, you wouldn't have strength left to resent. If you still have the mood to list your grievances, you still have a door open. So step back, breathe, and return to what matters. You live for yourself. Whatever work you do is fine, as long as you do not betray your conscience and you try to fulfill your responsibilities. Destiny rises from the inside. Choosing a path is choosing a future. Don't be trapped by the past. Live fully in the present and look toward the future. Then tomorrow will be brighter than today. Every day passes like every other day, unless you wake up inside it. Once you stop chasing happiness in sorrow and start living here, happiness becomes visible. If you could wrap your life into 3 days, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, which day should you live most meaningfully so you won't regret it? Yesterday is a dream, tomorrow is only a possibility. But if you live today wholeheartedly, then every yesterday becomes a happy dream, and every tomorrow becomes a hopeful horizon. The past is your starting line. It holds memories of joy and pain, success and failure. The value of the past is not to live inside it, but to learn from it. The sunlight of yesterday cannot dry today's clothes. You cannot change the past, but you can learn from it. Celebrate victory, but the lessons of failure are often more important. The future, meanwhile, is an unknown. For the weak, it seems unreachable. For the fearful, it is frightening. For the brave, it is opportunity. The future depends on your choices. Only fools assume the future is hopeless. The future rewards those who move forward, not always immediately, not always loudly, but steadily, over time. And today, the present, is the only day you truly possess. How long has it been since you called your parents? How long since you visited? Work, money, ambition, family burdens. These can stretch the road home longer and longer. But imagine a tomorrow where that road leads nowhere, because no one is waiting. If today were the last day of your life, would you do what you are about to do today? If the answer is no for many days in a row, you already know what must change. Call your parents today. Come home for a meal while you still can. Sometimes missing one appointment means the next meeting must wait 100 years. Don't throw away the present moment. It is everything you truly have. Today is the best day to do what matters, because it is the day you are alive. Breathing, eating, thinking, speaking, smiling, working, and loving. Respect it. Live it fully. Live kindly, usefully, generously. Be satisfied with what you have without obsessing over what you don't or what belongs to others. Prepare modestly for tomorrow, But don't sacrifice today to anxiety. Life will not always be smooth. There will be times of difficulty and exhaustion. When you feel tired, it's okay to feel low for a moment, but don't surrender. Instead, face the present bravely. Life is real, simple and heavy at once. It is harsh, yet within it are hidden lights, growth, dignity, courage, the quiet radiance of rising again. In the end, happiness is not a destination where you finally arrive and never leave. It is a way of walking. It is the art of choosing lightness without denying pain, choosing kindness without becoming naive, choosing acceptance without becoming passive, choosing effort without losing peace. You cannot command the wind, but you can adjust your sail. You cannot stop the seasons, but you can learn what each season is here to teach. And you cannot hold everything forever, but you can hold what matters with gentleness and let the rest pass through your hands like water. So begin again, today. Not with a dramatic vow, but with one small, clear step. A calmer breath, a kinder word, a simpler expectation, a softer grip. If you do that, day after day, you will slowly realize something that changes everything. Happiness was never far away. It was always here, waiting for you to live it.